First big summer show of 2017 here at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheatre, joined by Dom from MUSE. How you doing, man?
Doing great.
It's really, really great to see you in town. I have to tell you a story really quickly before I ask you important MUSE-type questions.
Sure.
My son is a teenager, all right? My son is not the kind of teenager that dances. This is not his thing. He's too cool for that.
Right.
The last time that you were here and you played the Chaffetz Arena, I took him to the show. He loves your band. And I look to my right during Supermassive Black Hole, and my son is cutting it up like I've never seen him before. It was one of my favorite memories as a father, and I want to thank you for that, man, because that was a really great thing. Hasn't danced since and won't admit that he didn't dance.
Yeah. I was gonna ask. I wonder whether he's continued to dance, but no, just that one time.
Nah.
Well, we feel privileged that he has only ever danced at Supermassive Black Hole.
Yeah, there you go. So first of all, we begin with Dig Down. The song is tremendous, and you guys have said we're not waiting to release a record. We're going to release songs when we get the songs that are good and ready to come out. What made you decide to do that, other than the ability that it's 2017 and you can kind of do what you want?
We finished the tour, the main kind of drones tour, like last summer. I had a bit of time off, started working on music, and this Dig Down track came together pretty quickly. And then we just, we went in the studio and started making it just because we felt like we wanted to, because we were ready to actually make some music, and then got it finished really quickly, and then thought, we're not just going to sit around and wait for another 12 songs or 10 songs or whatever it may be to complete those before we release it, because otherwise we'll be sitting on it for like a year or something like that. So I guess it's so we just wanted to put it out like nice and quick. And I suppose the idea of doing it this way is more of a kind of, I suppose we're kind of viewing it like it's a bit more of an insight into the creative process of how an album might come together. So we're kind of sharing that with the fans as and when it comes together. So it's it's a different way of doing it. I mean, we've done 7 albums, like the same thing. Go and do a load of tracks, get them demoed, get them ready, record them, and it takes, as people know, it takes like a year or so, or whatever it can do to make an album. So it's nice to release something as soon as it's done.
Sure. Yeah. Now, one of the things I know is coming a little bit later on in the year, you guys are releasing your first 2 records on vinyl, I believe, here in the States.
Right, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. You scared me there, not knowing that was happening.
I can't believe I even had to think about that, because I was working on that today. We're doing this. We're kind of putting together like a book with the remastered vinyl. We've remastered the 2 albums, Origin and Showbiz and Origin of Symmetry, and we're kind of putting together a bit of a package with a lot of historic kind of content, bits and pieces like photographs and music and some really old demos and all sorts of old stuff that basically attempts to tell a story from where we started as a band when we were kids at school to pretty much up to Origin Symmetry.
Isn't vinyl the greatest thing to be able to do that with, to be able to tell that story? Because if you had to do that with a CD, man, how would you there is no way you could do that in one book of liner notes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's going to be it's going to be a very elaborate vinyl package, essentially, but there's going to be other bits of music and lots of, there's a bit of a story about how the music has changed from being kids to, recording Origin and Symmetry, because we changed so much as a band over those first few years of being in a band. So it was a pretty kind of bizarre journey we took musically. So we're just trying to, tell people that story, I suppose, and release the albums and a bunch of rarities and this and that.
Sure. One of the things that has been striking since the first time I've seen your band, and I think tonight will probably be the 5th or 6th time that I've seen you, is the visual display at a MUSE show. I don't want to say it's just as important as the music, but I mean, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
I want to know for you guys, where did that come from? Not necessarily where did that inspiration come from, but I have to think that at some point when you were younger, you went to a show with big production that you went, oh my gosh, if I ever get a band, we're going to do it big like this to kind of accent the music. Is that true?
Yeah, in some cases. I mean, it was around the time of, kind of linking back to what I was just talking about, we changed so much as a band in the early days, and it was around our second album, Origin Symmetry, where we really became much more elaborate, I suppose, with the live performance. We became heavier as well. Music was much heavier, so the performance became a much more kind of, elaborate or bombastic or something like that. And then we just started realizing that as the venues got bigger, we felt like we needed more of a spectacle to kind of, so the people at the back actually felt like they were enjoying it as much, or for them to feel like they were down at the front of the venue. So we just started adding stuff and adding screens, and eventually on the third album we got into doing like arenas back in England, and we were like, Jesus, what are we doing in these huge places? I never thought we'd actually get there, which kind of forced us to get into using visuals and screens and video cameras and stuff like that as a medium to kind of add to the show. So it's just kind of built up and over the years, getting in and playing stadiums and stuff like that and big festivals, you can just, you've got a free reign to do whatever you want pretty much. So
right.
The live spectacle is something we've always, enjoyed working on, enjoyed playing with, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess the second or third to last time I saw you was at Lollapalooza. Right. And I was kind of way back in the crowd, and I definitely said to my wife, like, I'm really happy they got a lot going on because they look very tiny from where we're standing.
Yeah.
Continued success to the band. I mean, you are just one of those bands that we look so forward to it when we know, A, there's new music coming, and then obviously when we get to see you live, we get very excited for it.
Oh, nice. Well, it's certainly good to be back in St. Louis because, we haven't been here since maybe 2013.
I would think so, because the Drones tour didn't come.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to fit it in on that tour, so that's why we're here now. So it's great to be back here. But it's fun. We're working on new music all the time, so we plan to just over the next year or so just release more songs and still work towards an album. That's still the plan, but. It's nice just to kind of release them one at a time and see what happens.
Very good. Well, Dom, it's been an absolute pleasure. Can't wait for the show tonight, and thank you very much for your time. All right,
no problem.
Backstage, first big summer show of 2017. Dom from MUSE.